Did You Have To is a proud member of the But Why Though podcast community.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Did You Have To, the podcast where we watch live action adaptations of your favorite anime and adaptations. As always, I'm Kate.
And I'm Neysha.
And we are going to be discussing a super recent movie, Detective Pikachu.
Pika Pika. I can't help but say it. You can't say Pikachu without saying Pika Pika.
You can't, because it's so adorable.
Isn't it? Oh my god. Oh, but yes, it's so cute. But before we get into that, let's roll into crunch time.
Yes. You want to go first?
Yes, I'm prepared for once. So I watched My Little Monster.
Ooh.
It is a romance anime.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay, I'm going to set it up for you. So you got an impassive girl and this wild boy.
Okay.
And he confesses to her on the first episode. And they kiss by the second episode.
Oh my god, that never happened!
I know. But it's, so here's how, I'll give you guys a brief synopsis. Impassive girl meets troublemaker in a brand new love story. After Mizutani Shizuku, a girl whose sole interest is studying, is called to deliver handouts to Yoshida Haru, a boy who hasn't come to school after spilling blood on the first day. She finds herself the target of his affection. This is a story about a boy and a girl who struggle with love and friendship. Opening yourself up to other people forces you to be honest with yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. When I first read it, I'm like, wait, so this girl who ain't interested in love, like, isn't a love thing, gets, like, it's weird because, like, she has no interest in love. She's just so focused on studying, which I'm like, okay, cool. Do you, girl. Be boss. But it's interesting because it's you learn that she's always kind of been impassive and not very emotional.
Yeah.
Or in touch with her emotions for most of her life. So it's like, and she's never had any friends, or she says she's never had any friends. So she's kind of isolated herself off, and then enters Haru, who's just like starving for friends. But it leads him to being taken advantage of by people who call themselves his friends. So it's like they balance each other out because she has the discernment of telling him when people are using him, and he has a very hot head.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he's super tall and she's short. So therefore, I ship it.
I know, that's like right up your alley.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect. I'm like, yes, I will watch this because you actually confessed on the first episode. I don't have to put up with 12 episodes of nonsense to get a Christmas date episode.
That's the frustrating thing, and it is always a Christmas date episode. It's always as the snow is about to fall, as they've been walking around, and she's in a really cute kimono, and then they almost kiss, but the guy gets some bad news, or she gets some bad news, and they run away.
I can't deal anymore. I don't have. I have at it. We're not getting any more Wotakoi anime, and I need my romance anime that I can relate to. So this is as close as I get. I'm going back to the teenage love romances until I get my Wotakoi live action. So yeah. But it's cute so far. I'm like 3 episodes in and I love it. No, I was just saying it's really cute. I like it. And I like how it's not just strictly putting them in this love bubble. It's definitely exploring friendship, like in other relationships before just like making them, like they're actually becoming friends. And like she makes a point to him of like, you've never had a friend before. And then like she always questions him like, hey, you told me you love me in a friendship way. And he's like, no, sexually. And I'm like, okay. And she's basically telling him like, you don't mean that. You'll find another girl. And he's just like, no, I'll prove it to you. I'll make more friends. And then you'll see I still only love you. I'm like, aw, adorable.
That's pretty cool.
Except for him saying like, oh no, sexually I'll do you.
Well, it just reminds me of like K-dramas where they're like, I want you to see me as a man. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Okay. There were 100 different sexier ways you could say that, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually how it goes in K-dramas. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love it though. It has my it
Same.
has my soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna break Crunchy Time a little bit just because the anime that I binged was on Netflix and it
Mm.
was just too good not to mention. It's a High Score Girl.
Oh, that is right up your alley.
It's so freaking good.
Mm.
It's essentially these two people and it's kind of romance, kind of not. Like these two kids meet, one's a boy, one's a girl, and they meet when they're super young in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like an otaku arcade boy. He's always playing video games, always playing fighters, super obsessed, best there is. And then one day he loses. And he loses to this
Mm.
girl on the other side, and he can't stand that he's lost to her. And so they do a multi-series match, and he ends up using one of the cheapest moves to beat her, and she gets up, she walks away, and essentially they build out like almost kind of like this like shonen rivalry almost. Like he sees her as his one true rival. But like in a good way. Like it's a healthy rivalry. And he respects her, and he respects her not as just a girl. He sees her as like the best player that there is out there. Which is phenomenal. And it follows them, I think it's up until high school. Like she moves away, he has a little bit of a story with somebody else, and then she comes back in high school. And
Mm.
there's none of these like fake, like using this in quotations, but like these fake gamer girl tropes that happen. Like it's just a really, really good series about people who love video games. And I recommend this to people who love video games, specifically fighters, because as the show goes on, it like intercuts the show with like facts about Street Fighter or facts about the games that are out that they're playing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool, and it grounds itself in the 90s, and yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Definitely the part about it grounds itself in the 90s.
Yes.
Because peak arcade video memories for me is just like going to arcade in the 90s.
Yep.
Um, and I like you said, like there's no tropes, like gamer girl tropes.
Yep, no gamer girl tropes.
Even better. I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There
put
is
that in my
this one
queue.
thing where the new girl, she does start playing games to kind of impress him, but
Mm.
then she ends up just really enjoying games.
Oh, that's good.
Which is really cool because like people get mad at it because they think that that's like a trope, but if you do it the right way, it's really how a lot of girls do get into gaming. Not necessarily to impress a guy, but a lot of it is like, at least for me, like it is to fit in because like games aren't marketed towards us. We have
True.
to seek them out and find, especially when I was growing up. When I was growing up, like games were not marketed for me, and like the guys at my school played. None of the girls at my school played. I was the only girl that played. And so for me to kind of see that, which it's reflected the 90s. I think it's different now, but watching it happen in the 90s was very much that. So I really appreciate it.
Mm. That's really good. And I would appreciate that too, just because like you're right. Like I think I took a break from video games for a while just because I didn't feel like there was anything for me.
Yeah.
Like from age 14 to when the next Kingdom Hearts came out.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago. And then like finally like maybe 4 years ago I got back into gaming just
Okay.
because I was just like I'm an adult with my own money. And it's not to say that there weren't games that I didn't want to play before then, but I just didn't feel like nothing was marketed to me, and I think that's mainly because like I didn't see the games that I was interested in. Like
Yeah.
I like there was more than Kingdom of Hearts. I liked playing fighter. I learned that like I do enjoy fighter games. Like they are fun.
Yeah.
It's just hard when you have to be an adult and do things to find time to do those things
No,
and be able to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely feel you. I mean, like when I first started dating, like actual dating, like it was hard. This sounds so stupid. Like it was. So I I did nothing, right? Like high school, I did high school and sports, and I worked 2 jobs, and the only time that I got to myself was playing video games. Like I've played video games since I can remember. Like some of my earliest video games or some of my earliest memories with a game controller in my hand, and all my spare time was just video games, video games, video games. And then I remember starting to date, and I actually blew somebody off because I wanted to finish my level, and it was really hard because I was playing Dante's Inferno on the hardest setting.
Nice.
And I blew them off. But that is to say, when you become an adult, it's hard. It's like I barely have time to game anymore, which sucks because like my husband Matt and I, like we love gaming, and when we got together, that was one of the things that we were able to do that like we couldn't necessarily do in other relationships. So like December is usually we will buy a subscription to MMO and just like play together nonstop, but adult life doesn't really facilitate that.
College is pretty much more like, oh, I can't bring my PlayStation 2 to college with me because I don't trust people. Yeah. So then all I had was my PSP. And once I beat the 3 games I owned for the 10th time, I was just like, I'm done for now. Yeah. There's nothing else for me to play until like after college, and because same as you, like I played sports to pay for school and all this stuff. So it's like, how do you find time to play for 2 hours a day? It's impossible. And what am I going to do? Pay for 1 hour? I'm not going to get nothing done.
Oh yeah, and I think it's also different for me too because like I played a lot of competitive games. So I can get in. Like I brought my Xbox to college. But I had to, so the way the Wi-Fi was set up in our college dorms was that you couldn't run anything that wasn't a computer. So what I did was I hardlined in my laptop, and then I hardlined in my Xbox to run it through the computer so that I could get internet. And I'd like get a few rounds of Call of Duty in between classes.
You're a good one. I'm the kind of people where I'm like, I want to play and not have to get up for the next 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, there are definitely some games like that. I've definitely played a lot of games like that. Like, don't talk to me. I'm going here.
But it's kind of fitting that you chose a video game anime. I'm calling it a video game anime.
It's a video game anime.
Yeah, because the movie we're reviewing is based off of a video game.
Exactly.
Very good.
Yep. I've never played the video game. Have you played the video game?
I have never played it either.
Okay.
I kind of want to play it now.
I do too.
I need the Switch to be. I need a Detective Pikachu version to be released on the Switch.
Oh, you know what's coming.
I'm waiting.
I feel like I
thought it was gonna come. I thought it was gonna happen before the movie premiered, but like I guess not.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but let's fingers crossed. I'm hoping for a lot of things to be re-released on the Switch, to be honest.
I just want a damn Switch.
I know, because I didn't get a chance to play with you when I was in Texas because it's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
I know. I need a Switch so bad. But yeah, no. So Detective Pikachu is, and so I need to ask people who have played the game, but at least from what I've like read from like the Wikipedia summary of the game, like the movie is fairly close to it in that it uses the same names and kind of the same things that happen. Yeah, so like in the game, Tim, obviously in this movie, Tim Goodman, teams up with his dad's with Pikachu, who talks. And they go on essentially a quest to get to the bottom of finding out where R is coming from, and they end up crossing paths with Mewtwo, and instead of Mewtwo like merging the bodies, it's just kind of like alluded to instead. But like, I don't know, reading the Wikipedia summary, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But obviously I'm not a Pokemon expert, so
same. I mean, if we're gonna talk about like the first and second generation animes, yes,
same.
But when people get into like the lore of like Pokemon, and all the like dive into the video game lore, I'll be like, I played Silver Moon and in Red and Blue, but
I haven't even played those.
Oh, those are just like when my sisters and I, we would just like switch them off. My parents were not going to buy us a game each. So it's like, you get that one, you get that one, you get that one. And then in college, the one way I did find how to play video games is you could download this mod on your phone, this Game Boy mod.
Yeah.
And I could play the Pokemon games.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I do. Yeah. But like now I'm like looking at like the images of the video game. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So like the quick synopsis. So ace detective Harry Goodman goes mysteriously missing, aka everybody thinks he's dead, prompting his 21-year-old son Tim to go out and find what happened. Aiding in the investigation is Harry's former Pokemon partner, wisecracking, adorable super sleuth Detective Pikachu. Finding that they are uniquely equipped to work together, as Tim is the only human who can talk with Pikachu, they join forces to unravel the tangled mystery.
That's a good synopsis.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah. So again, Pikachu talking with Ryan Reynolds' voice. I did not think it was gonna work, but it worked.
I didn't know that I needed that in my life.
Me neither. And I'm like, there's outtakes. There are R-rated outtakes.
There have to be. They will never see the light
them.
of day because of how Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are, but they have to be.
I want to see Pikachu cursing.
I do too. So bad. I'm just waiting for Detective Pikachu to come to DVD and for somebody to overlay Deadpool talking on Pikachu.
Yo. Yes.
Right?
That's as close as we're going to get. I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, so I think what's interesting about this whole thing is like you said, it's pretty honest to the game, like as far as the characters go. I thought it was interesting how we open up. How we open up, we see what we assume is Tim's dad and Pikachu trying to get away in a car. And like you said, they presume he's dead. But then like the opening scene of like Tim and his friend like
trying
going
to catch
into
a Cubone?
Yes. And you're just like, it's just like in the game where like you can't go in the tall grass. If you go in the tall grass, you're going to encounter a Pokemon. And like, I just liked all that stuff.
And the Cubone was adorable.
Right.
It was so
and he's just like
cute.
He's just crying and he's alone. Oh, bad. Oh, and I like how so in the world of Pokemon, things are just like, people just accept them as they are.
Yeah.
Like no one ever questions why does a Cubone have a skull of its dead relative on its head.
Nope.
No one has ever said that, but they say it here. So I think I really appreciate stuff like that in this movie. Just like, why does a Cubone have a skull on its head? Where did it get the skull from?
Yeah.
It's not that it just comes out of the womb like that or out of the egg, however Pokemon are made. So I thought that was funny. But it's like, we get a little bit more info on Tim, like how he's just like sworn off a Pokemon and how he doesn't need one. And I was just like, if I lived in a Pokemon world, are you crazy?
I would
yes,
have
give me all of them.
I would be trying to catch them all, damn it.
Oh, They told us gotta catch them all for a reason.
Exactly.
And that is what I would do. Come on, we're gonna start. Before the end of this, we're probably gonna sing the song. Oh, but gosh, yeah. So I really like that, like opening with those two scenes where like you kind of see. You get the experience of trying to catch a Pokemon.
Yeah. From
Tim's point of view.
And it failing.
And yes. Because I always wonder, like in the game, whenever you play the game, you don't get attacked by the thing. You don't get attacked like that, or at least attacks to what we think are from the anime and from the video game aren't enough to kill you. But then when you realize these monsters could literally kill all the people here.
Oh, yeah.
And like, y'all, what is going on? Like, there is a Charizard that could kill anybody if it wanted to.
Yep.
Oh my god. So that's like, that was really good. But then like we learned from that, just like Tim is an insurance salesman, which in the world where Pokemon exist, why are you an insurance salesman?
He's real bland.
He's so bland. It's like painfully bland. Like Salt can't even help him.
No.
You know, and like his friend tells him, like, look, I'm worried about you. You're gonna be all alone. You work at a dead end job. He's like, I'm gonna get a promotion. I'm gonna be insurance senior man. I'm like, dude, you 21 and you excited about selling insurance in a world full of Pokemon. Okay, I guess. So, like from there, I mean, we don't have to do a super deep dive recap. We could just like talk about our favorite scenes or whatever, but. It was like, I kind of liked how it sets up the story and we were introduced to Tim. But then like how he gets the bad news about his dad and then he goes to Ryme City, and I appreciated them doing the exposition of learning about Ryme City.
Yes, that helped so much.
Yeah. I was just like, so this is all exposition. Thank you very much. And putting it in the form of this train ride on a TV screen. But what was it? So... we're just going to get into spoilers right away. When you saw the dad and the son, the rich guys, I can't remember their name.
It's Howard Clifford? Howard
Yes.
Clifford and Clifford Jr., because I don't know what the hell his name is. I just know he's a baby Clifford.
Yes,
Roger
you're right.
Clifford.
Howard Clifford. Roger Clifford. Yes, Howard Clifford and Roger Clifford. Did you call evil? Like, immediately?
Yeah. I knew one or both of them was gonna be evil. Like, shady old white dude who created an entirely new city because he didn't want to die.
Right.
Like, how the hell he not gonna be evil?
Exactly.
I have seen enough horror movies or sci-fi movies to know that if there is an old white man, specifically old, and he's inviting you to a place where he has science, chances are he's gonna do something really, really evil so that he doesn't die.
Yo, this is Get Out, but with Pokemon.
Dude, I said that. So I was talking. I was talking with Matt and somebody else, and I was like, I was like, what was it? I was like, yeah. So essentially, there's this really old guy who doesn't want to die, so he wants to put his mind into a Pokemon, and then he puts everybody's mind into Pokemon, but we don't know where the minds of the Pokemon goes. I was like, oh shit, this is low key Get Out, and I was like, holy crap.
Right. And you choose the most powerful Pokemon, Mewtwo. I was just like, and I just felt like it was weird. Like, they made sure to mention how, like, Howard has this illness that he's slowly dying from, or like he's like that his body is deteriorating. And I'm just like, we're gonna come back to that. I know we're gonna come back to that. So I just felt like we were gonna come back to that, and it was either like, gonna be
he doesn't want to die. What's gonna happen here?
And he believes in Pokemon so much.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, he wants to see how he can live in harmony with Pokemon and talking about their evolution. Totally nothing amiss.
Nothing at all. Talking about, like, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could control our evolution? I'm like, you sit in the dark. You a creep. I don't trust none of this. None of it. But we do discover, there's a twist at the end because we're made to believe that it's his son Roger who's the actual villain, when in actuality he had a Ditto.
Dude, okay, so like those Ditto people are the creepiest damn thing like that's Coraline creepy.
Yes. Oh my god, I did say it was like Coraline because of the beady eyes.
I can't do that. I can't. No.
Oh my god.
That uncanny valley where it's so close to being human that it's just so monstrous. Yeah, that's right where that was.
Yeah, which now I regret never catching the Dittos when I played the game. Because I'm like, clearly Ditto is the superior Pokemon to everyone. You can have any Pokemon you want, and think of all the crime you can commit.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all heard that, right? If I lived in the Pokemon world, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Oh, you totally would. You totally
would.
I would, too. I mean, and I can't blame you.
For good.
Yeah, crimes for good. The anti-heroes exist, damn it. If you're listening to this and thought it was crimes for crime, terrible.
No, we're planning anti-heroes. We're going to only steal from the very rich with our Pokemon. Or I'm going to have a Pokemon disguise itself as a rich person and get their information and hack and get all their money.
Oh my god. It's just...
it's a good thing we don't live in the Pokemon world, baby. It's that, or I'm just gonna have a Squirtle and a little Bulbasaur and live in a happy life somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, but sorry, we're jumping all over the place, but it's fine, y'all. We just gonna get into it.
You know us. By now you know us. We jump. We jump all over the place. We do.
Unless it's like a bizarrely terrible thing like a Yakuza apocalypse where we felt like we had to go part by part and dissect that mess. But sorry, we're on to a happier note now. So we've already established that the people who were introduced to our villains are villains.
Yes.
And then you see that Tim has to go and which I thought it was kind of messed up because I'm like, wow, Tim has to go and deal with all this by himself. Like, there's no other family. He don't got no other family. But of course, that would take away from the plot. But he's a 21-year-old kid, hasn't seen his dad in 10 years.
Also, he's a grown man.
He is. True.
21 is an adult.
True, I have to remind myself that.
But I will say this: they do a lot in this film to which is really refreshing because he is 21, but he is very not childlike in a bad way, right? Like, he's not infantilized, but he's young, right? Like, he is his age, if not a little younger. He hasn't been beaten down by the world so much. He's had a bad relationship with his father. But the way he looks at things, I don't know how to explain it.
He doesn't really have this. So the character, I guess we look at it this way: we're introduced to the world of Pokemon through the eyes of someone like Ash from the anime, who has this super optimistic, and granted, Ash has been a child for the last 30 years, and has not grown the hell up, and he should be an adult man by now, which I just wish they would do. But my point is, so we're used to seeing the world of Pokemon through, I guess, teenagers / preteens.
Yeah.
Who just, see this world as, beautiful. They don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about insurance. They don't worry about bills. They just go around the world collecting Pokemon and battling gyms, not worried about money at all. I've always wondered, where the hell does their money come from? But again, they don't worry about money. And that's it. But this, you see Tim, he's more so I have to go take care of my father's apartment and his belongings because he might be dead, or he is what we assume is dead. And then the detective chief is talking to him your dad was so proud of you. You're just like him. And he said you wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. He's just well, I'm not. I'm nothing like, I'm yeah, this is a sensitive subject. And it's kind of, it gives weight to the movie.
It really does.
Yeah. Just oh yeah, reminder here, kids. His dad might be dead. Yep. And that, so I think that kind of it doesn't make the world dark and grim, but it makes it slightly grounded in the realm of death happens here, kids.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there's a childlike wonder to the world, but it's also adult at the same time, which I think they balance really well with him. Tim himself. Oh, and Tim's played by Justice Smith. We should say his name. Justice Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, and that's what I like about that. It's just Tim's looking at things as oh, yeah. Tim makes me think as me if I was suddenly put into that world. It's holy crap, I can die.
Yeah.
If I piss off the wrong Pokemon accidentally, I'm dead. It's not when you saw Ash get shocked by Pikachu and it was cute. No, you can actually die. So yeah, there's that. So from there, he goes to the apartment and he runs into, there's the girl who's the reporter.
Yeah, her name
with that
is Catherine Newton.
Yes.
She's also in The Society, which is on Netflix right now. She's actually really good there.
I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, so Catherine is she's been stalking Harry's place because she is trying to figure out what Harry came across, why did he disappear? Why did someone want to take him out? And she's an investigative reporter. She's a self-claimed investigative reporter, which she actually is just a BuzzFeed
she writes
writer.
listicles.
Listicles.
Listicles of the cutest Pokemon.
Yeah, which your job is never done.
Yep.
Yep.
There's constantly a
So
cuter one. Oh no, this one evolved. Yep, that one's cuter.
it's cuter, and it's an elemental type. Oh my god. But yeah, so then they have an exchange. She's suspicious. Her Psyduck. I kind of want a Psyduck now.
I love her Psyduck. Her Psyduck. So like, I feel like I'm a cross between a Jigglypuff and a Psyduck.
That sounds adorable and anxious. Adorable and anxious.
Like, I just like the fact that. Oh, I moved my mic. Okay. I just like the fact that essentially, like, whenever they're together, the entire purpose is to make Psyduck calm. Because if you don't know what Psyduck does, is when Psyduck gets too stressed out, he explodes a little psychic wave that does a lot of damage.
Yeah. Which, okay, so Psyduck reminded me of Professor X.
Oh, gosh.
In Logan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Which, that kind of made me sad. I was like,
with Pokemon.
Yes, but it kind of made me sad. I'm like, oh my god, he can literally like make everyone's brain turn to mush if he gets too stressed out. Which I'm like, Charles, that was Charles and Logan. I'm like, oh my god. But it's like, which makes me think like you must really love this Pokemon to put yourself at this like intense risk all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then like I just like how she has a little like carrying like her backpack to carry him in.
He's just so adorable, and I like the little like, because Psyduck's like a mix. He's like a duck Pokemon. He has like different types of textures to him, and like the texture on the bill, and the texture on his webbed feet, and the texture on his fur. Like, it's all perfect. It's so well done.
Yeah, it really is, and I just it's so like we're gonna get into just the CGI and creative design of this whole world. I'm gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up this synopsis really quickly, a little bit more. So then they meet, and then eventually Tim's in the apartment, and he eventually meets Detective Pikachu, and just it's so adorable how he comes in, and he's like, "I will shock you," and he threatens to shock him. And it's just, oh, he's so adorable. And like hearing him talk for the first time, again, I didn't think I think everyone had like this visceral reaction when they heard that Ryan Reynolds was going to be the voice of Pikachu. Yeah. But at the same time, no one's ever going to be happy with what Pikachu sounds like. There was like that Pokemon movie where he told Ash, "I love you" in English.
Awful. That was
I still haven't seen it. And like, I don't think I want to see that.
You don't.
It sounds bad. So there's like a bunch, like no one's ever gonna be happy with what Pikachu sounds like, because to us he only sounds like Pika Pika. So yeah, but from there we learned that Pikachu says like, I don't have any memories, but I had this address in my hat, and I must be a detective because I figured that out. And it's just how he like comes to these conclusions. And then just his caffeine addiction. They're just I could gush about Pikachu the whole time, but he's just adorable. So eventually this is where they have that interaction with that R. The drug.
Yeah, the R. It's like, so essentially like it gets introduced by, Tim just being curious, like, what the hell is this purple stuff? And he like he unscrews it, and there are a whole bunch of Ponchomps outside, these little like monkey Pokemon with a hand on their tail. And they get a whiff of it, and it turns Pokemon rabid.
Yep. Like scary rabid. Like they not cute no more. It's terrifying. So that leads them on like this super wild, like I guess life-threatening chase, like not chase, but escape. Yeah. To get away from them, because there's just like hordes of them suddenly. Which I just want to make a quick note, just because like when we just kept on seeing R everywhere, I was like, Team Rocket? Are we gonna see Team Rocket? Like every time R came up, I just thought it meant Team Rocket, and it did not. And I was a little disappointed. I wanted some reference to Team Rocket, just a little bit. It would have been great. So yeah, the smoke makes them go feral, and they're attacking them, and like Tim and Pikachu eventually get away. And then they go talk at a bar about everything as Pikachu's having a drink of coffee.
Which he's
I think this is
addicted
where,
to.
yep. And I think this is where he makes the point of like, we have some kind of connection. I can talk to Pokemon. You could talk to humans. Together, we're an unstoppable team. We have this kind of bond. I feel it in my jellies. Which I still don't know what jellies means, but
I don't
think
know,
it's
but it's
adorable when he says it.
adorable.
It is adorable when he says it. So yeah, they decide to become a team together, and they are on the case to find Tim's dad and figure out what happened to Pikachu's memories. Fast forward, other shenanigans happen. They eventually go back to not Lucy. Is her name Lucy? We said Catherine. Why
No, her name is Lucy in the movie. Her name is Catherine as the actress.
Oh, my bad. Lucy. So Lucy, they meet up with her. That leads them to discover the place where R is being made.
Yep.
Where it's like this, I want to say remote, like gated off like place, just open in the field.
It's like a giant secret research facility.
Yep, in the middle of nowhere. Not suspicious at all.
Nope.
Not like the cops should have been looking there.
Nope, not at all.
Nope, but we'll get into why the cops aren't looking there. So yeah, the cops don't go looking, and Tim's doing their dirty work. And they eventually go to the place where in the beginning of the film, we see that there was an explosion because Mewtwo escaped. But we'll find out how Mewtwo escaped here because they come across some video footage that reveals to them. Oh, I guess before then we should say that between now and then, Tim was approached by Howard Clifford.
Yeah. Howard Clifford to help stop his son's terrible plan by finding out all that he could about R.
Mm-hmm.
Finish his father's mission.
Quote unquote son.
Yep.
It's a terrible plan. So he then I guess he leads him in the right direction, gives him some more breadcrumbs to go help find his dad, supposedly. And Tim finds evidence that shows like what happens to Mewtwo, like how Mewtwo breaks out, and then like what the scientists were doing at the facility, how they were basically extracting Mewtwo's essence to create R.
Yes.
Which was like this drug that the researcher was like giving to people at underground Pokemon battles, and basically like juicing up Pokemon.
Yeah, because essentially what it does is what they find out is when the Pokemon is feral, it lets them take over their bodies essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just want to make sure that they can make them feral for like the right amount of time so they can ultimately just get out all these Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's what they've discovered, and they've been successful with this stuff. So yeah, they've been using the underground rings to test that on them. So now we see that we see the night of like how Mewtwo escapes, but then it's revealed before then that Tim's dad, Harry, was actually the person that brought Mewtwo there in the first place.
Dun dun dun. Is he evil? Probably not. We don't know yet. It's a kids movie.
Probably not. No. But yeah, he so that was the reveal, and Harry damn, I'm gonna mess him up. Tim was like so confused, like, why was my dad here? What did he know? Like he was probably up to no good. Like he's all mad, and then Pikachu's like, no, that can't be it. I have a feeling it's in my jellies. I'm gonna figure it out. Before that can happen, Roger, what we presume is Roger, has released the Pokemon that are in the facility still, which I was thinking,
Greninja.
If this Greninja.
The Greninjas.
Oh my gosh. I can't, Greninjas.
Greninjas.
I'm just gonna let you say it. I'm gonna mess with it. They look like little frog ninjas.
Greninjas! Green Ninja!
What?
Greninja!
Greninjas.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did it. Kate's a Pokemon purist over here.
Oh, hell no, I'm not. I don't know who the hell these Pokemon are. I know 1, 2, and a little bit of 3, and Sobble. Those are the only Pokemon I know.
Sobble.
That's it.
I love how your priorities are like that one, and Sobble.
Yes!
Yes, Sobble is cute.
Exactly. Sobble is a depressed little soul, and he's just like me.
I need to give you a hug. But yeah, so those things are, which oddly you knew had to be a trap, because I'm like, this place exploded. Why did they leave these Pokemon they were testing on here in this place that's abandoned and everyone evacuated?
These things can't possibly open up and cause any harm to anybody.
Which, when their cages opened up and that hand came out, creepy.
Yep.
Just, I'm trying to think of like what movie that reminds me of, but it's creepy. I don't like it. So yeah, they're amped up on R. They chase after Lucy and Tim, and Psyduck the whole time is having a panic attack. Just like, Psyduck.
It's like this. It's the funniest thing, because like they're doing all this heavy action stuff, and Psyduck's just like rubbing his head, like no.
He's like, nope, happy place. Remember what my therapist taught me. Nope. Oh, little poor Psyduck. So eventually Psyduck has, I guess, his psychic burst, or he sends out the psychic shockwaves.
Yep, he gets a very bad headache.
Yep, and it's like everybody, like the way he looks on his face is like, I feel better. But then like everybody else is just like trying to, they look like they're immobilized for a little bit.
Yeah. And
trying to shake it off, which I'm like, oh, you guys are lucky you're not dead, because like the ground shifted. Yep. Like explosion. So I'm like, Psyduck is surprisingly one of them is not useless. He is just very stressed out.
Yep. Just like me.
Yep, just like you. I love you, Kate. I'm gonna give you a hug when I get to Austin next time. So yeah, that happens, and eventually they get away, but dun, they don't get away that easily, because, okay, is it Tortuga?
No, Tortuga is how you say turtle in Spanish.
Dang it. What is it? I know its name is close to that.
Hold on.
Okay,
it's okay. I say that because I kept thinking Tortuga, but I know that that's not the right thing.
I know it has to be close to it. I hope I'm right.
Yeah, it is actually.
It is Tortuga?
It's Turtoga.
Oh, I like Tortuga better. We're fine.
I don't think this is the actual one. Hold on. Turtle Pokemon.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I forgot. I clicked this assuming that there wasn't that many. There's a lot. Hold on.
The Pokemon fans are gonna at us.
Turtwig, Grottle, Torterra. That's the name of it.
There it is.
Yeah, Torterra. Okay, so they're essentially like, they have a world on their back, pretty much.
Yeah, which honestly is kind of cool to me.
Unless you realize you're standing on top of them.
Yeah, that is terrifying when you realize that the entire facility is built on the backs of these Pokemon, and
of these
they're
genetically
just really
altered Pokemon.
That's right. So they're genetically altered. They're huge compared to like what they actually are size-wise. Like they're probably the size of like a twin bed.
Yeah.
Like normally, but now they're the size of mountains, which terrifying, very terrifying when you think about it. So in the midst of all this happening, like I thought this scene where like the ground is lifting up.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like an Inception when like how the ground is like lifting up towards them. It looks like it's almost going to fold on top of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's really well done.
I liked it a lot. So in the midst of all of this happening, Pikachu gets hit in the chest by a pebble, which is enough to hurt his little heart. That's the size of an acorn.
Greninja.
Was it? Yeah. I thought a rock fell.
No, I thought it threw it.
I thought it was because the rocks were sliding off of the Pokemon's like back.
Oh, it might have fallen. Okay. Okay, yeah. You're probably right.
But I think he was trying, like, because they were getting away from them, because like he did miss the Greninja.
I think you're right though, because I think he misses the Greninja and then gets hit by the rock.
That's it. So yeah, that happens, which I was just kind of like, I don't judge me. I laughed a little bit, but it's because it was such a small pebble. But then I started to feel better. I'm like, oh my god, his chest is so, like, his heart is the size of an acorn. He is so small. I'm like, oh no.
It's like, yeah, it's a small pebble, but he's a tiny baby, Neysha.
I know. I felt bad after laughing. He just has a manly
voice. It's not his fault.
I know. I felt bad after laughing internally. I didn't laugh out loud. So Pikachu is very badly wounded, like mortally wounded. There's not a Pokestop hospital anywhere in sight. So they have to hopefully get help from somebody soon. Which the best boy Pokemon, not boy, I say like best boy as in like the term best boy, but the best Pokemon ever pops up, and that is Bulbasaur.
They're so adorable in this movie.
So cute. So cute.
They got little
so
nubbins
cute.
for legs, and they just kind of waddle around.
They're just so cute. I love them so much. I want one. I want one so bad. Oh my god. So Tim is like desperate and he pleads with the Bulbasaur to help him. And Lucy, well, I think she's trying to help him, is like, they can't understand you. But Bulbasaur does understand him because the power of friendship and love. And the Bulbasaurs lead Tim, like the herd of Bulbasaurs. So now there's like 20 of them, lead them to Mew. And I love how the Bulbasaurs are like, no, Mewtwo. Thank you. Which I wanted Mew to show up the entire time.
I did too, because Mew is so adorable.
Very adorable and powerful.
Yes.
Like, who doesn't want to see that fight happen again? So so I liked how the Bulbasaur kind of like stopped Lucy for coming with them. Like, they're like, no, not you, you can't come.
And then like Gretchen Wieners.
Yes. And like they lead him over to Mewtwo, and Mewtwo shows up. Tim is like, oh no, what's happening? But it's actually revealed that Mewtwo is not the villain that he was made out to be.
Dun dun dun!
And that he was trying to reveal the truth to Tim, but Tim takes it as him was being the villain because he says, good, you brought the sun to me.
Yep.
So he thought that Pikachu was working with Mewtwo the whole time.
Yep. And they're all very confused. And then Roger comes in and takes Mewtwo away and steals him again. Yep.
And this... So then we get to like the emotional climactic part of the movie where Tim and Pikachu's confused and he thinks Tim still trusts Pikachu. Pikachu doesn't trust himself with Tim. He's like, I thought I was doing good. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I put you in danger. I'm a bad Pokemon. And he's just having this existential crisis right now, and dealing with a lot. But it's still cute how he waddles away. And eventually he starts running away from Tim because he doesn't want to hurt Tim.
Legs just like, meh, meh, meh.
And just like then he runs away from Tim further, which makes Tim feel abandoned. Like he's always felt abandoned.
Yep, because you learn like throughout this entire time too, like you learn a little bit more as to like why he had a bad relationship with his dad, and it was because he felt that his dad chose Pokemon over him, and that's why he didn't want to have that's why he wanted nothing to do with Pokemon. But when he goes back to his house and his dad, you see that his dad had actually made a room for him. Like his dad actually cared. Which makes him feel really freaking terrible because he actively chose to not go to his dad.
Yeah, and I guess the other part of that is because like when his mom died, his dad threw himself into his work. Yep. And that's how he coped with his grief, but that left Tim with his grandmother, who was a loving caretaker for him, but that's still like he wanted that connection with his dad. And it just seemed like like you said, his dad threw himself into his work and chose Pokemon over him, so he just felt like he didn't have that connection with his dad anymore, and that just furthered the wedge between them. Yep. Dealing with real stuff here in a Pokemon world.
It gets real. It gets real fast.
Mm-hmm. It's not all Pika Pikas and fun. I'm gonna say that about 10 more times before we're done.
Oh, do it.
So yeah, Tim feels abandoned. He doesn't know what to do, but he's like, okay, I still have to go stop Roger. I gotta go warn Howard about Roger now, and hopefully stop Mewtwo. So Tim rushes all the way back to get to Howard with Lucy, and Lucy's trying to figure out a way of like, they figured out that the R is in the balloons. Mm-hmm. And they have to they're trying to figure out like, we have to figure out a way to warn the people. We have to like warn everybody what Roger's up to, as soon as possible. So correction. They didn't figure out that the R is in the balloons. They just know that Roger is up to something. Yep. and that they're trying to warn everybody about what he's been up to.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Tim goes to Howard to tell him everything, what they learned. But he gets to Howard, and Howard, I think at this point, has on the...
It's like this little neural cap.
Yes, neural cap.
He has one on, and then Mewtwo has one on, and it's for them to essentially create like a neural link, and for Clifford to go into Mew's head to get out him.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I was about to call it Cerebro from like the X-Men.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it looks just like it, but like you're right, like that it's definitely like this neurocap thing that allows him to take over Mewtwo's body. That's it.
And yep, that's it. And then all of this was this giant elaborate plan to keep Howard from dying.
Exactly. This very, very rich, selfish man decided to do all of this for the sake of not dying. Even though he is I'm not saying once you get to a certain age, you should accept
Dude, he's
death.
like 80.
Yes.
You've had a good life. Deal with it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it. But no, he's like 80. He's old. He's lived a full life. But he can't accept... This isn't about him and like being confined. Like it was never about him being confined to his old body.
Yeah.
It was always about him having power. And that was the thing. It was never...
Because if it was simply about that, he could have picked any Pokemon.
Exactly.
But he wanted to be completely powerful. Like the way he viewed it was like, my body is this old piece of me, and this next piece is my evolution.
Exactly.
And I deserve to be super powerful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it's like, it was never about him being like, I want to be healed. No, sir. You just want to be an all-powerful Pokemon.
Exactly. Which essentially, like, Mewtwo is like thousands of years old. So like when it comes down to it, he just wanted to be immortal.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't want to die. Like, I think it's one of those things too where like you have at least, because this is the trope that gets used in sci-fi. And not trope, but like, it gets used in sci-fi a lot. Like I said, like old white dude, old rich dude. If you want to take that piece out, because I think just like old rich person doesn't want to die because they have not had to do anything in their entire lives. They've gotten everything. They're powerful. They're intelligent. And death is the last thing they can't beat. And then they fuck everything up by trying to.
Yep. Pretty much. You had a good, full life. You left quite the legacy.
You built an entire freaking Pokemon and human city.
With harmony.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough.
Dude gotta be immortal and powerful.
Yep. Old white men gonna old white men.
Pretty much.
Yep. So, yeah, that gets to that point. Tim gets his ass whooped by the Ditto disguised secretary, who, when the shades come off again, very creepy.
Terrifying.
Very. It was funny, but then it kind of made me creeped out.
Yep.
So, but we cut back to Pikachu, who at this point is singing the Pokemon song, and tearfully singing the Pokemon song.
Oh, I know. It's so sad. It's so sad. I want to be the very best that no one ever was. And then he does like the punches.
Yes.
It's so cute. It's so cute and sad, and I want to hug him.
Right, adorable. I feel Pikachu's pain, because no matter what he does, he kind of even says it's like, it doesn't matter. They don't hear me. I could be like, all they hear is Pika Pika.
Yep.
Oh, he's just so cute. But then something happens where he like gets a flashback, because he comes back to the bridge where the car crash happened with Harry's dad, Tim's dad, Harry, that he was in the car accident with, and he realizes like, oh, these are Greninja's stars. Like, It wasn't Mewtwo that caused our car to crash. It was the Greninjas. So it was actually, and Pikachu, being the brilliant detective that he is, figures it out that it was actually Roger. And I guess he makes the connection that it was actually Howard. I think he made that connection somehow, because Howard sent them there. So he then, with his little legs and all his might, runs back to Ryme City, which I was like, man, he had to be doing quick dash the whole way there because that's a far run. I'm not going to question time and all this. This is a Game of Thrones. I'm not going to question how he got to one
You
place.
can question it a little bit.
Yeah, I am. Because he even makes the point about like, I went to walk 10,000 steps today, which Pikachu has little legs. It's going to take him a while to get anywhere.
Tiny little legs.
Teeny tiny little legs. But the power of friendship and love will get him there. So yeah, he eventually gets to Ryme City. He sees what's going on. At this point, Mewtwo has revealed his evil... Well, Howard in Mewtwo's body has revealed his evil scheme of making Pokemon and people one.
Yep.
Which basically outing all the Pokemon and putting the people into their bodies, not without anyone's permission, just assuming that everybody wants it. Just creepy. So
because like when you think about it too, he just like he sees Pokemon as like these better beings. Like he sees them as being better than humans.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. These are like those people who like love their dogs so much.
Hey.
Not in an unhealthy way. Not you. I'm just saying
my dog is my child.
See, but that's still that's not in an unhealthy way. He is on an unhealthy level.
I see what you're saying.
Yes. So not you. I'm like the people who feed their dogs off with forks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you don't cross that line.
Nope.
So yeah, Howard's really loves Pokemon. So basically, everyone's now been put into Pokemon bodies because everyone's inhaled the gas that was actually hidden in the balloons.
All the Pokemon have inhaled the gas. So the way it works is the Pokemon inhale the gas, and then Howard comes down as Mewtwo and like zaps everybody into the Pokemon bodies.
Exactly. So yeah. That happens, and it's just like it's mass chaos. People are like just running around screaming. The Pokemon are confused. The people inside the Pokemon bodies are confused and don't know what to do. Yep. Which I don't think this is the utopia he thought it was going to be, but he don't care.
I really want to say that Snowball is the perfect Pokemon for Ken Watanabe.
Yes.
He's just so perfect.
Yes, just like adorable next to each other. And also with that mean little tough face.
Yep.
Oh, so precious. So yeah, and then Pikachu is being a little boss, jumping on balloons and fighting Mewtwo.
Yep, he finds his strength, he finds his power because he wasn't able to use his power before, and now he can.
Mm-hmm. So he knows what he's got to do. He's trying to save Tim and take out Mewtwo. Do all this, which I was just like, man, Pikachu is the best Pokemon, man. Look at him go. He's just like doing his thing and saving the world. But which I really enjoyed the fight that was going on here. But so eventually I think it's Tim finds the real Roger who is hidden in the closet. And Tim is almost like dangling. He's about to die from the Ditto. Something is going to kill him. Things happen. And Pikachu is able to use, I think Tim told him when they were in the underground battle that, I'm going to mess this up. Pokemon people at me. It's the Charge Bolt?
I think it's Bolt something. It's something Bolt. Thunderbolt? I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of his most powerful moves. So he listens to Tim's advice and he does it. And that's what he's able to like hit Mewtwo, subdue Mewtwo long enough for Tim to get the Neuro Cap off of Howard and free Mewtwo. But oh no, Pikachu is falling to the ground. Thankfully, Mewtwo wakes up and becomes conscious again and saves him. Yep. And now that Mewtwo is conscious again, he undoes all the damage that Howard did, separating the humans from the Pokemon. And then this is when we finally get the reveal of like, oh, we solved the case, we did it, we got your memories back. And then Pikachu's like, wait, but what about your dad? And Mewtwo comes in and says like, your dad's been with you the whole time.
Your dad was inside you all along. Yeah.
So, and then it turns out that in order to save in order to save Tim's dad from the car crash, he had to put him inside of Pikachu's body. I don't understand why Pikachu's memories had to be wiped, but I guess it's not that his memories got wiped. It's because that the
I think
dad...
it's just because I think it's because his dad override, which is just terrifying when you think about it. Like, the people, soul, mind, whatever, it's the supersedes the Pokemons, which means the Pokemons are gone.
Yeah. Or just like in Get Out, which makes that element of it creepy. So then Mewtwo takes Harry, Tim's dad, out of Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out that Harry is Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
Did you see this coming?
So I didn't see it coming. I thought about it, but I didn't think they were actually going to do it.
I think I was trying to figure out why is it that why can Tim and Pikachu talk?
Yeah.
So then when it got to the point when after we saw the Pikachu, once we saw Mewtwo the second time, or when they find him in the forest and everything, I was just like, okay, I don't think Pikachu's a traitor, but I feel like something's going on. Where is the dad? And then when you find out with Howard,
because they've been hiding the dad. They don't show him. They don't even he's wearing gloves. There's nothing giving away the dad's identity.
Nothing. Oh, and every scene, because you see he has a cap on, his head is turned, he's in every scene you don't see the dad's face, which is okay, there's a reason why we don't see the dad's face. But I also thought it's because in Pokemon world, parents don't have.
I also thought that, to be honest.
Yeah. It was getting weird. But then it was I figured it out a little bit a few minutes before, because I was like, oh yeah, Mewtwo has the power of putting people in Pokemon's bodies. Of course.
Yeah, I didn't find it out till the very end, which was good, because that's when you should.
I agree.
What did you think about it?
You mean the end or just the movie overall?
Yeah, the end.
Oh, the end? I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really, really adorable.
I did too.
And it's also one of those things, is I think somebody was like, well, why didn't he know that why didn't he notice his dad's voice? And I'm like, he hasn't talked to his dad since he was 6.
Mm-hmm. It's been years. Which I think that's a good explanation. You're just so no one ever thought it would be his dad voice. I'm like, but if you haven't talked to your dad in years, he's 21. He didn't see his dad since the last time he was going to he was actually talking to his dad he was 10.
Yeah.
So their relationship,
a solid decade of not talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that too, I think the other theory I saw was just we heard him as Ryan Reynolds because he had to be Ryan Reynolds at the end.
Yeah.
But for Tim, it could have just they could have just been communicating telepathically, emotionally. He communicated with the Bulbasaur. That was the other thing I saw for that, which I thought was cool.
Oh yeah, that's true. Which I think my whole part was is it because Tim inhaled the R that allowed him to speak to the Pikachu? But then I'm for that to happen, that would mean that everybody who inhaled R could have been talking to their Pokemon. But it makes sense because but it's because Mewtwo put Harry inside of Pikachu.
So Pikachu reacts a specific way.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what my assumption is. It's because Harry's inside of him, and he has the cognitive ability to speak back now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that's just my assumption, because I was just trying to figure out is there a special bond, or is it just because he's inside of him and that's how he can talk? But nobody else can understand him. But it's because I assumed because Tim inhales R, that might help. I don't know. Either way, I don't care. The mechanics, I enjoyed the movie, and I really enjoyed that ending, because it's oh man, y'all could have released this around Father's Day. This would have been a perfect Father's Day movie.
It really would have.
It's adorable, and it's great.
It was so sweet.
And it's when you think about it, it allows for Tim and his dad to bond and mend their relationship, and they not know it. It's almost if they're it's parent trapping.
Yeah, it's get outing and parent trapping.
Great movies. All great movies.
So many things.
Yep. so many things, and it's just really, really cool. So yeah, that is the movie. So and at the end, so before Tim goes back, his dad gives him a ticket, and he's just like, "Well, I'll see you again." But Tim decides to throw the ticket away, and he wants to stay around and stay with Harry and just grow closer to his dad, which precious.
It's
and
so good.
It leaves you with a good feeling of they're going to work on their relationship and mend their bond and grow closer. And then Tim decides that, like, I think I want to go into detective work, which I'm like, yeah, you're 21. You still got time. I guess there's not student loan debt in the Pokemon world.
No.
No.
I hope there isn't.
I hope there isn't, but I've always questioned whenever I played Pokemon, and even when I watched the anime as a child, it's like, do they not have bills to worry about?
I don't think they do.
They must not. But I was also a child that understood money pretty early on. Anyways, we're getting off topic. So really quick, I figured I'd ask a few questions before we close up. Yeah. So how did you feel? Well, first off, let's talk about the character design.
Oh gosh. So when I first saw that this movie was happening and that this movie was existing, I was just like, I don't know about this. This is weird. Live action Pokemon? What the hell? And I thought, especially seeing Mr. Mime and stuff, I was like, this is real fucking creepy.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forgot about Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime's really fucking creepy.
Very.
But then we saw, actually, the first time we saw the trailer in theater, I was blown away. It was something about seeing them on the big screen where I was just like, wow, this is amazing. These are adorable. They're perfect. If you had told me 20 years ago we'd be getting a Pokemon movie like this, of this caliber of live action, I just wouldn't have believed it.
I agree. Because the textures are what do it for me. Pikachu is soft and fuzzy and he looks warm, and then Jigglypuff is also soft, which makes sense, but then you see a Bulbasaur that looks like a frog, so his skin looks slimy, but they're just cute and round. And this movie does what, no offense to artists in the Sonic movie, but there's, like you said, the uncanny valley. Y'all, sometimes it helps to lean into the cartoonish side a little bit more and just add realistic elements to the character. Make his fur furry. Don't give him human calves.
Yeah.
And because that makes me uncomfortable when I see he has calves and thighs. It's just weird. And then of course there's going to be restrictions, but I think also this movie just does a really good job of leaning into the creativity of the video game and the anime.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think the other thing is too, is so I read a couple of interviews with the animators, and they actually they had a lot of guidance from the Pokemon company, specifically asking them what type of animal is this Pokemon based on? What would,
smart.
What do they need to be in? Where would they, what would their skin have to be versatile with? Is it fur? Is it feather? It was one of those things that was just listening to them, they did so much work into making sure that those textures, like you said, were right. And I think that the textures and then the emotion, the little wrinkles in Pikachu's brows when he's frustrated or he's thinking, all of those did a really good job of working together to present us with real connections between the Pokemon and the humans around them.
I agree. Seeing Pikachu's facial expressions, and that had to take days.
Oh,
weeks, weeks to program. But the end result is just the facial expressions on a Pokemon look human. Not human in a bad way, but you see him feel sadness, you see him feel joy.
It's mocap. It's an actual. It's a motive. It makes us see it because they used actual faces as a guide.
Exactly. And it's not it's not like in some, I'm trying to think of like an example where there's like CGI done and it's just like the CGI character isn't used to the best.
The Jungle
Like,
Book.
yes, that is a great one. Yes. Because it's like they're just animals talking.
Yep.
It's you don't see emotions on the animal's face.
Nope.
I just see a giant sloth bear talking.
Yep.
Which doesn't really lend to the emotion of that the characters are supposed to give, which I get. It's an animal, but that's the point here. They're animals that give us emotion.
Like, exactly. There's a difference between like this is just an animal, and then like on top of it too, like it's not just an animal. Like when I look at my dog's face, she has emotions. They may not be the emotions that we have. Like that's obviously what we're putting onto her or them. But like her face when she gets angry because she sees a dog outside, her face changes. When she sees that I have a treat, her face changes. When she's getting belly rubs, her like I think the fact if you put in enough care and have actual actors behind animals or anything, the acting is just that much better because in reality, like humans aren't the only things that feel.
I agree. Like we've seen that animals are capable of crying, that they have feelings and that they have that ability. I think people forget that there are animals that have that cognitive. I don't think the word is cognitive that I'm looking for.
Sentience.
Like people, thank you. They don't have that, and it's also like I think it also goes back to like some people just don't think animals have souls. I for one think dogs have souls. Cats are soulless demons, but I respect them. But my point is, when I look at a dog's face, a dog can smile. A dog knows when you're sad. They know when to cheer you up. Like they're capable of emitting emotions back towards us. So I think that's something that really, like you said, them asking the source, basically going to the Pokemon company and asking them like, what's this Pokemon based off of, helps a lot. Because like granted, I think of Pikachu as a squirrel and a bunny.
I never thought about that, but I love it.
Right? It's a squirrel and a bunny, but like the way he acts and moves and everything, it's just like you can see how they added in those elements of these animals into them. Oh, it's just so cute and adorable.
No, it's so cute. It's really good. I think that like also one of the things that happens is there's like, how do you say it? There's just like, I don't know, they just care. They care about what they're doing. They cared about what they did. They cared about what they were animating, and it shows.
I agree. Like when they took the time. I don't know how long it took to make this, but I have to imagine it took quite a bit of time to do all the animations for all these Pokemon because it is a lot of them. But I appreciate everything they did. I think it's really cool, and I hope that this leads to more movies.
Oh, I definitely do too. I think that watching what they did with this type of animation and this type of care shown, like there really is no excuse for other adaptations. Like,
I agree.
yeah, you might not have the same amount of money, but at the end of the day, like if you are putting money behind making a live adaptation of something, go the full, just do it. Like don't half-ass it, whole-ass it. Do it right and seek, inspiration from the fandoms and seek inspiration from the originators of the work. And I think it can go a long way. And I think that this is a really great step in bringing stuff that we wouldn't think would even be live action to life.
I agree. Because I think, and I could be making this up, but I'll fact check it before this episode drops. But I think it's that one of the artists on this movie drew fan art of realistic Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure. And it's like, if I can find it, I'll drop the link in the show notes for the post. But and his art is really, really good. Like how you saw Charizard in this movie, how scaly and like dragon-like, that's how he drew them.
That's really cool.
So I really feel like that, like I'm going to find it and I will post it. But I think that to the point is like you found people who really care about this franchise. And I think a big part of that is because people who care about this franchise are our ages now. The people who grew up with it, and they aren't just looking for a money grab. They're actually looking to like bring the world that we always wanted to live in to life.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the thing too, like as we go forward, like adapting more video games, more manga, more anime, more cartoons in general is just looking at the fact that a lot of the people that are working age are people who grew up with this. Like they have a strong love for this.
I agree.
And
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nope, go. I found it.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so 6 years ago, artist R.J. Palmer, that's his name, he started drawing the Pokemon as they were realistic dinosaurs. So he got a job on the Detective Pikachu movie from that.
That's freaking amazing.
They're really cool. I will send the link to you so you can see that.
Watching all these anime movies with bad costuming, I'm just like, y'all should hire some cosplayers.
Mm-hmm. They should. Just saying. Going simple can go a long way sometimes.
Yep.
Instead of trying to put a friggin' huge bow on somebody.
Yep.
Oh my god. We're not going back there. I was gonna ask a fun question. So you can only pick 3 Pokemon out of this world to have. Which one do you pick?
Oh, this is so hard. I'm gonna pick a Psyduck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to pick Psyduck. I'm gonna pick a Snowball because it reminds me of Matt. And then I'm gonna pick a Growlithe because they're so adorable and those things were puppies.
Oh. So we're pretty much alike. I'm basic. I'm gonna pick a Pikachu.
Ah.
I'm also going to get my Bulbasaur. But
Aww.
I want an Arcanine.
Aww.
Which I guess is technically I should just get a Growlithe to start off with. But I like the Arcanine I can ride on and we can go on adventures.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be so much fun. It was like Arcanine and Eevee, but I'm like, man, I kind of really want an Arcanine. Oh, but yeah. They're just they're so precious and I want them. And lastly, so what did you, I think we kind of already gushed about what we loved, but we can like go into our last few questions. So what did you like about the movie?
Gosh, honestly, like the character design, man, like I loved the character design. And I think that is something that this movie brings that I never thought could happen. So like my biggest piece that I love of this movie is that.
I like that. For me, it's definitely the world building. Yeah. I mean, we only got to see like Ryme City and Tim's hometown, but at the same time, this opens the way they built the world. It really helps us to like go forward. And again, I hope there's more. And I also really liked that the first Pokemon movie, like live action movie, was not about Ash.
Yeah, no, I really love that too. I think that Detective Pikachu, like, there's this beauty in what they do in that, like, they're obviously like targeting this nostalgic audience, but at the same time, they're also looking to bring in new fans, and they chose a great property to do that.
I agree, because like I think most people would probably be upset. I mean, I think maybe a lot of people were upset when it first came out that they were making a live action Pokemon movie, and it wasn't going to be.
I was one of them.
I mean, I'm sure I had a feeling about it too, where I'm like, where's Ash and where's Misty? But at the same time, like the world is so full of people and Pokemon trainers. Like we don't have to focus on Ash. We can like explore a whole new character and like their story, and like maybe the next one won't even connect Tim anymore, which I guess it wouldn't. I mean, I guess it depends.
Yeah, that was the thing too. Like they wrapped this up like really well. Like I don't know what they can do as a sequel.
I mean, I think they made that little not an Easter egg exactly, but they made the drop about like, oh, Mewtwo, no one's seen him since 20 years ago, and Kanto in the Kanto region.
Yeah, so they did confirm that is actually so it is within the continuity of the original Pokemon movie.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Which makes sense. Okay, so then in this world, Ash and Pikachu exist, is what we can assume from that. Okay. So, I mean, I feel like that was still dropped there. And you can't, like, I just feel like there's more. And I want to see more coming, hopefully soon. Which, I guess, is 4 years from now, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah. So what is something you did not enjoy about the movie or didn't like?
I felt like Lucy was pretty underutilized, honestly. Or
Mm.
not underutilized, but she was just kind of there. It's one of those where I think that if I think that they could have equally just had Tim and Pikachu.
I agree. I mean, I guess like her real like she was definitely a detective reporter.
Yeah.
Like she showed her skills there and everything, which like she's definitely a big contributor factor to like what led them to solving the mystery. But at the same time, it kind of felt like she got reduced to like, oh, the girl I kind of like
Well, so yeah,
towards the end.
so I wouldn't say that she was reduced to that. I just think that
Mm.
like I think that they could have just done um just Pikachu and Tim and it would have been the same thing. Like they could have had
Oh
Tim
yeah,
finding that stuff out. Like I don't think she was necessarily necessary. Like I don't think they reduced her. I just don't think that she was necessarily like a necessary character.
gotcha.
Like
Like
it could
she's
have just been focusing more on um building out Tim and building out his relationship with Pikachu and like but she wasn't bad. It was just that's
no,
the only thing.
yeah, because like after like really the first like the I want to say the second quarter of the movie, like right up to the climax, that's where like and she does her part and stuff, but like I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. Like there like if Lucy wasn't there and if they had just like added like filled in those blanks with Pikachu and Tim, you're right. It could have happened, but I do feel like they kind of did underutilize her a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think for me. Um, only thing I didn't like is like I want to see more Pokemon battles.
Yeah. There was like a lack of Pokemon for having so many Pokemon.
Say what? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Oh, I said, yeah, there was actually kind of a lack of like Pokemon type
Yeah,
and like interaction between the Pokemon for as much as like they talked about it.
that's true. But I guess it makes sense. It's because like in Ryme City, there's no Pokemon battles.
Well, yeah. I guess
But
for me
mm.
too, it's just like seeing I guess on that point, like tangential to it, I feel like there could have been more types of Pokemon or more Pokemon.
Oh, sorry, you mean like okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Just
Yeah.
like because we do see a lot of the same type over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, everyone like every few people have side. I'm like I'm surprised so many
Everybody
people
have
have a side up.
Growliths. There are
Yeah,
so many Growliths.
which not complaining, but
Yeah,
also
yeah,
I want
exactly.
one.
They're adorable and I want one, but
But they're everywhere.
um
And then like what those chimp ones with the hands, I can't remember their
yeah,
names.
the Minecraft.
Yeah, the Manchomps and all that stuff. But then yeah, I don't know if it's just like there's a billion Pokemon. I don't know if they could even try to fit them all in a movie, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, but I did kind of want to see like I wanted to see more Jigglypuff. I wanted
Oh yeah. So from the trailer, I thought there was going to be more Jigglypuff.
I thought Jigglypuff was going to be like part of the plot,
Yep.
but I was wrong. So,
Yeah.
meh. But it's fine. So yeah. And so what do we rate this?
I would rate it on our rating scale a 1 or a 0, which is the best score you can get because it means I don't have to drink anything to watch this movie.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. I didn't
Yep.
have to drink anything, mainly because I didn't have a drink with me in the theater, but also it was very enjoyable and entertaining.
So I totally did drink while I was in the movie theater. That's because it was Alamo Draft House, and I always drink when I'm at Alamo Draft House. But I would watch this again. Oh no, actually, so I did drink, but it was a margarita at the Regal Cinemas that we have there because they serve alcohol in it. But I actually really want to go see this movie again because we had crying children in ours, and it reminded me why I go to Alamo Draft House because Alamo Draft House doesn't allow children in their theaters. So
I need that up here. I
yeah.
need that badly up here.
But we were there for
Yeah.
a friend's birthday party, and we were in a regular theater, and there were at least 4 different crying children. And it
Oh
was
no.
awful.
No. See, I went to a 9 p.m. show and there were still children, but most of them were
We
at
were
least
at
10
an 8
years
p.m.
older.
showing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I say 0 for me also. But no, this is really good and I look forward to what comes next. So, with that, where can they find us, Kate?
Oh, yeah. If you want to get involved in the conversation, or if you haven't followed us yet, follow us on Twitter at DYHT_pod. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And you can find me at OMMythrandier on Twitter.
And you can find me at LA_NEY_SHA. And with that, will there ever be anything more cute and threatening than Pikachu holding a knife? How do you think Pikachu takes his coffee? And will we ever be the very best that no one ever was? Find out next time on Did You Have To? Bye.
Bye.